number?
See, from compared to the pre-COVID numbers, the airfares are higher by almost 30 to 40%. On the international front, and almost about 20-25% on the domestic front. But if you compare it from the last year, when airfares were already high, there is still a high of 10% to 12% on international, about 5 to 7% increase on the domestic. So there has been a constant rise in the airfares ever since COVID.
Yeah, so with the increasing fuel prices, the airfares are also shooting up. But I believe passengers are willing to pay because the demand, as you say, has also been doing pretty well.
Absolutely. And so as the average spend that we see as a behavior change in the case of holiday bookings as well. People are now willing to book their holiday components, which includes their ground transportation, vehicles or activities and everything well in advance as compared to how it used to be done in a broken fashion until few years back. So I think now Indian traveler has started valuing convenience more than the cost, and that is a good sign on both sides, from the from a business as well as from a consumer change behavior as well.
Mr. Saini, you did talk about the behavioral change, so I must ask you this, especially for passengers and customers of East My Trip. What's the kind of metrics that you see? What kind of airline do they prefer? We have Akasa, we have Vistara under the premium economy category. We have Air India. Which airline usually gets maximum booking in terms of passenger preference?
The pattern has been more or less the same if you see it in last 5 to 7 years at least, where Indigo in domestic kind of has the largest market share, almost in the range of 40-45%. But if you go a little towards the full service carriers, their Air India and Vistara go neck and neck. They have their own share of about 15% each. And then if you collectively 15%, not each, and then you have players like Akasa coming up, and they add a kind of variety to the whole, airlines industry by the way of introducing new aircrafts, new facilities, and I think it's always good to see some sort of a novelty in a space where since for quite some time you had almost the same airlines. So from a behavior standpoint, the largest domestic segment bookings go to combined of Indigo and SpiceJet, followed by Go Air and Air India, Vistara.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street, also help you understand the big momentum, where is it taking place in terms of the sectors and the stocks, and also what should be your investors' strategy at this point in time as well. We'll get you expert voices as well. But first up, a quick check on how the benchmark indices are moving as we close in on the day's end as well. Well, it's been a good day so far. The beginning of the week has been on a solid note. Right now, if you see both the benchmarks, the Nifty and the Sensex are up by about 0.4% higher. 18,146 for the Nifty, it's up by 82 points. The Sensex moving higher by about 250 odd points at 61,362. Which are the top Nifty 50 gainers as we speak at this point in time? Of course, the gainers are coming in from a whole lot of sectors that are buzzing the most in trade, including metals, IT pack as well. So you do have some gainers coming in from the metals basket. It's Tata Steel. Apart from that, you have Tech Mahindra from the IT pack that's moving up in trade. ONGC, the oil and gas space, has been buzzing, 3.2% uptick for that one. HDFC Life, Hindalco, the other movers at this point in time. What's not doing well, in fact, are some of the stocks from the pharma basket, like Sun Pharma is dragging a bit. We're also seeing some drags coming in from the auto space after the sales numbers have come out. Hero MotoCorp, Tata Motors slightly down in trade. Apart from this, you have Ultratech Cement that's declined after the earnings, and Bharti Airtel declining by 1% odd. But in terms of the sectors, we do have slight losses being seen on the pharma and the FMCG pack, but rest of the sectors up in the green. Let's now focus on what the experts are really looking at in terms of the insights from the markets. Prashant Tapsi joins in. He's the research analyst and senior VP at Mehta Equities. Welcome, Prashant, and thank you so much for taking the time out for this discussion. First up, your thoughts on the markets in momentum. Well, we've started off on a solid note in this week, and we've been seeing that the bulls have been slowly and gradually regaining their control as well after months of volatility. But the big question is this here to stay? Because, the earnings have come out, on a mixed note so far. Your own thoughts on how the markets may move from here on?
I think the month of May was a great month after 3, 4, 6 months of consolidation and under pressure markets. April, we started with RBI, which started to pause the interest rates, which was the first trigger for Indian markets to take it to the next level. And following to that, I think the quarterly earnings show, which were above average, I feel so, by lower margin pressures and better outlook, except Mr. IT as a sector. Rest, every sectors have been done well. And I think in coming down the line, Fed is also going to have some dovish outlook in terms of going interest rate hike. 25 basis point, I think it has been discounted in the markets. But going forward, after 2 months, there may be a pause session from Fed, or else there may be a chances of even cut of interest rates going forward. Considering this, markets are taking it very positively, and 18,001 closing above 18,100 would be a great sign for Indian markets to target for 18,300. And if that is the close for the coming weeks, and 18,500 can be seen very soon in the coming days.
Okay, understood that. What about, some of the pockets? Let's focus on that are in momentum. Let's start off with the railway pack. Now, this railway theme has been on an uptrend again. Like you pointed out that May has been, the month, a good month so far. And, in April also, the last month, we've seen that some of the railway stocks have actually, surged quite a bit in trade. In today's trading action, we do see RVNL up by 10% after getting that Navratna status, 52-week high levels as well for this one. Apart from this, the entire railway pack, including some of the stocks again from the railway basket, have actually surged up to 50-56% in the last 1 month. How are you looking at this theme, and is this a theme that investors should really look at before we come on to the specific stocks? Overall railway space, how are you looking at?
I think the infrastructure story, what India has been focused once in the budget, they have announced 10 lakh crore to the infrastructure. Major part of the infrastructure comes for the development of the Indian railway system and even the Indian railway platforms and all. So I think government is towards this, towards tourism going forward in India. I think a lot of investments have been given focus to the railways, and a lot of orders have been started coming down to the railway stocks. This has been the main theme for last 2 to 3 months, and the stocks are already with a 40% up from those levels. For a conservative investor at these levels, I don't think one should look at investing in railway stocks right now. But yes, in a portfolio stock, there should be 1 or 2 higher market cap stocks in terms of railway, like RVNL again should be the part of portfolio for a long-term perspective. But if you want to enter it right now, there should be a chance of accumulation going forward once there is some kind of profit booking attempt seen in the markets.
Okay, but on RVNL specifically, after that 10% surge, it has hit an upper circuit. Do you still believe there is momentum that one should look at?
For a risky trader, yes, he can hold it, but I don't recommend a fresh investor to start his new investment at this point of time.
Okay, which are the other stocks that you are really bullish on from this space, and you do see a potential upside from current levels?
So I think as a stock specific again, other than RVNL, I think rail stock, that is bogie manufacturing stocks. Those stocks can be a stock which can be looked at investing, and even BHEL, some kind of investment can be seen as they also manufacture some kind of railway bogies and all.
Okay, and amid the earnings season, is there a specific sector that you are really bullish on at this point in time? Banks have delivered a decent set of earnings. We did see IT as a big disappointment. Are you looking at the banking space constructively at all?
Specifically in the banking space, I would like to see at PSU banks would be the space where one should look at. I think 18th of March when SBI is going to come up with their results,
Yeah.
the surprise results go every quarter on quarter. And the smaller banks like UCO banks, UNO banks and all, they're also giving 50% plus profit growth plus good reduction in terms of their NPA. So I think the next era for banking sector would be small PSU banks.
Okay. And what's your own sense? What should investors be doing on SBI right ahead of its earnings, since you do believe that quarter